Hello and welcome to episode 81 of my podcast, The Pocket Stylist. Today I'm going to be talking to you, and it's only little old me today. I'm going to be talking to you about the topic of dressing for your shape, not your size. And the reason this has come about is because I've been working with a couple of clients, and I've also had a couple of inquiries from potential clients. And their first comment to me was, Lisa, I don't know how to dress for my size. And it's really interesting because for me, it's never about the size. It doesn't matter if you're a size 8, 10, 12, 16, whatever, whatever size that you are, it's about dressing for your shape. And the reason I'm incredibly passionate about that is because A, one size does not fit all. B, if you are a 10 in one retailer, you may be a 12 in another retailer. If you're a size 16 in one retailer, you may be a size 8 in another retailer. And then we start to look at the shapes of a garment, because depending on the shape of the garment, you may need to go up a size, or depending on the shape of a different style of garment, you may need to go down a size. So when we start to talk about, I need to dress for my size, absolutely not, because it's just a number. It's about creating and using your body as this wonderful package that we are going to wrap. And the way we're going to wrap it is using clothing styles and shapes and fabrics and textures and textiles and colors to make you absolutely feel amazing in the items that you're wearing. Because you know that if you put an item on and it makes you feel amazing, your shoulders go back, your stature changes, you're kind of ready to take on the day, whether you're, going to the shops, whether you're doing the supermarket run, whether you're heading into a high profile meeting. It's when we feel great in our clothes, we feel that we can take on the world. And for many of you who have listened to, the podcast over the past few years, it's about working to make you feel good, because when you feel good, amazing things happen. So this whole topic of dressing for my size, for me is really something I want to dig into a little bit more, because there definitely is a sizing perspective that we don't need to look at. We really, really don't. We need to look at the shape of your body, where your curves are, where your angles are, where your shoulders sit, whether your waist sits, whether you're high-waisted, whether you're low-waisted, whether you're longer in your upper body and shorter in your legs, or longer in your legs and shorter in your upper body. It's all about proportion. It's all about sizing from the shape of the garment's perspective and how it appears to look when others look at you. And you've heard me many, many a time say, when you look in the mirror, you will definitely not see what everyone sees looking back, because we're all really self-critical, right? We all look in the mirror and we immediately pick up on the area that we're not so keen about. It could be our tummy. It could be our bust. It could be our arms. It could be your hair. It could be your ankles. And then we have this thing about we're looking in the mirror and we're seeing our flaws. And then actually someone else sees you and they say, oh, I love your dress. I really like your shoes. Where did you get that from? And immediately you think, hang on a minute, why are they not looking at my tummy? Why are they not looking at my hair? Because everybody else doesn't see that. They just see you as the person. So when we dress for your shape, we're using your body as a mannequin that we dress. And yes, different fabrics work better. We can sometimes have fabrics that move. We can have fabrics that give us structure. We can create density. We can create fluidity. But we use the garments to work with our shape rather than the size of our body. And that is what I really, really want to get across today. We are going to be dressing for your shape, not your size. And that is huge, because I want to give you an example. It doesn't matter whether you're a size 8 or a size 28. If your body shape has, say, let's say it's an hourglass, right? So we say your shoulders and your hips are in line and your waist comes in. If we suddenly give it an oversized garment because we're trying to dress for our size, if we go for this oversized garment, it could be a shirt, could be a jumper, could be a sweatshirt, could be anything, you're suddenly going to change the shape of your body. And we don't want to do that. We want to use those wonderful curves and angles that you have to create this wonderful visual extravaganza so that other people can see that. So when we use structure, we really can home in on the shoulders, we can home in on the neck, we can look at our wrists, we can look at our ankles, we can look at our calves, we can do so much, our waist, etc. But then we start to look at the different areas of our shape. You know, are you big busted? Are you smaller busted? Do we want to accentuate the bust? Do we want to minimalize the bust? Do you carry weight on your tummy? That's a definite area. I see so many ladies say, I'm definitely an apple. I'm definitely an apple. I carry all my weight on my tummy. But sometimes it's just that you carry a little bit of extra weight on your tummy. You know, we all know that we can put on weight, we can lose weight. It's about then using the fabric of the garment to create fluidity and movement through the tummy. But we're still using your shape, your silhouette, because your skeletal body shape never changes from the day you're born to the day you die. But what happens is, yes, we create sometimes more mass on it. So we put on weight. Sometimes, whether we've been ill or we've been under some stress or we're on a health kick diet, you know, we lose the weight. So again, it changes the body shape, but it never changes the skeletal shape. So it's so important that, you know, sometimes you take off your clothes, right? And right down to your underwear, so down to your bra and your knickers, and you stand in front of the mirror and you go, right, what shape am I? Don't look at the size, nothing like that. Look at the shape. I want you to look at where your shoulders are. I want you to look at where your waist is. Where are your hips? You know, and I want you to then think, oh, wow, you know what? Now I need to dress for this shape. I don't need to dress because I'm a size 16 or an 18 or a 20 or a 22 or I'm an 8 or a 6. I'm going to use my body as a mannequin, and I'm going to dress it how I feel comfortable with the fabrics and the contours and the lines that I feel comfortable wearing. And then when you start to change that mindset, from a mindset point of view, we go, right, I'm dressing my shape, because it makes life so much easier. And yes, guaranteed, there are 100% in some of the retailers, whether it's online or in the stores, some of the garments are a very odd shape for the untrained eye. So certain garments, I could walk into a store and say, right, that's going to suit you, that's going to suit you, that's not going to suit you, that's not going to suit you. But the more you practice this and the more you look at it and go, I'm going to dress for my shape. I have great shoulders. Yes, I might carry a bit of weight on my tummy, but you know what? I have a really good torso. I have a great bottom. And do you know what? Rather than go for baggy clothes, I'm going to show my curves. I'm going to really create the shape that I am using the fabrics and the textures. And yes, I'm going to use a little bit of a tencel fabric. I'm going to use some elastane. I'm going to give it some density and let it move through my curves. I guarantee you the way you feel about the image that looks back at you in the mirror will change 100%. I want you to really kind of sit there and go, I'm going to dress for my shape. It's about shape, not size. Honestly, this really came about, this podcast today, purely because I've had a couple of ladies inquire about, you know, working with me, which is absolutely wonderful. But that was the first line. And it was both ladies in the same week. And I'm like, you know what? We need to change that. We need to change the fact that you think that you have to dress for your size. We are going to dress for our shape. We're going to embrace our shape, and we're going to really enjoy looking for different garments and different styles and things like that. As we move into 2023, I would love you to have this mindset shift of, no, it's not about size. It's never about the size label, ladies, at all, because the size label is just a number. And that number correlates so differently, because sometimes we have a size 10, sometimes we have a size 18, then we have a medium, then we have an XXS, then we have a large, then we have a 36, then we have a 40, because we're now moving into European sizing. And actually, that throws you completely, right? Because sometimes you'll go, well, hang on, what is a medium? Is a medium a 10 to 12? Is a medium a 12 to 14? And then you'll go to somewhere like Ted Baker, for example. This is just an example, and they are sizing 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you're suddenly thinking, hang on a minute, what does that sizing mean? So already, as I'm talking, we've got 4 different forms of sizing. We've got European, we've got the small, medium and large, we've got the Ted Baker sizing, and then we kind of move into everything else. And that's why the size label is just a label. That's all it is. It's a guide. So we can really, if we can really, really home in on, I'm going to dress my shape, use the labels as a guide, but do not get het up about them. Understand where they sit, you know, whether a 38 is a 10, or whether a 2 in Ted Baker is a 12 to 14, or whatever, and use them as a guide, but don't get het up about them, because you know, even when you're listening to this, you know that certain brands cut in certain ways. So we know that Wallace cuts a little bit bigger. We know that Zara, in their trousers, they cut a little bit smaller. New Look kind of cuts pretty much as they say. We move to Ted Baker, there go smaller. French Connection, probably quite normal. Mint Velvet cut bigger. So even as we're talking here, you know, the ones that spring to mind, I'm sitting there thinking, right, that's bigger, that's smaller, that's the same size. So by using the size labels as a guide and looking more about your shape, you will 100% find it so much easier. And again, I want you to, you know, if you get an opportunity, have a look in your wardrobe and go, right, does that work? Doesn't that work? How does that make me feel? What shape does that item give me? Because at the end of the day, I want you to be wearing the garment, not the garment wearing you. And when we say the garment wears you, it means it changes your whole shape. So we want you to wear that garment. We want you to put on that garment and look in the mirror and go, wow, yes, this is me, you know. So that was my podcast for today. Episode 81 is all about shape, not size. So I hope we covered a few bits. I hope you have a lovely, lovely week. And we will come back with some new pieces coming into the podcast, coming ready for the next few episodes. We're going to be talking about what's coming in again for spring, summer. And I know we're just delving into autumn, winter again. But I'm going to give you as well some hints and tips. We're going to do a bit about shopping in the sales, spring, summer, getting yourself ready for 2023. So yeah, there is lots more to come. But as always, if you want to give me any ideas, or you want me to talk about anything to do with fashion, style, anything like that, or you want to come on the podcast and come and have a chat to me as well, because I love that, then drop me a message, either pop it in the comments or pop it in the chat, or ping me a message direct. I hope everybody has an amazing day. I hope that's helped again for another podcast. See you all soon. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful week. See you later. Bye-bye.